Hello and welcome to my channel, Making Crafts, and welcome to Freebie Share Saturday. And so I have some beautiful freebies to share with you today, and I also going to share a kit with you that these freebies match because I already have the kit and I think this is a gorgeous kit. So these freebies are from Antonio Makes, and you can download them off of his Facebook page, so I will link to that. And it's very easy to become a member of someone's Facebook page. You just have to answer a few questions and then they'll let you in. And I don't remember if Antonio even has questions when you ask to join his Facebook group. But if you're in his group, you get to see people using his papers in different projects and stuff and different ideas. And you also get updates when Antonio puts out a video in some of his projects. So this one is a little bee freebie, and it's from the Magical Garden. And so you get several little journaling cards, and then you get this background sheet. And it goes with, it will match this kit that you can actually purchase. Now, normally on my freebie shares, I don't show things to purchase, but since this is going together, I wanted to share it just in case you do want the kit that goes with it. And I also have a coupon code, Susan10, so it's SUSAN10. If you use that on AntonioMakes.com, you will get 10% off. And it also lets Antonio know, it's my affiliate link, my affiliate coupon, and it will let him know that you found these papers through my video. So here are the actual kit. And I did not print them all out because my printer's having a little bit of trouble. I need to order some more ink, but also you'll see down here some black lines. I'm having to clean it. It's needing cleaning, and so I want to go ahead and get started on the project, so I just printed out what I could. So this is the Magical Garden kit. Now I printed mine, and you're going to think this is crazy, but later on this week I'm going to be showing you another project. And so I've printed mine with, one side, I'm flipping it, in other words. So when you turn it over, one side's going to be upside down, but that's going to work out for the project that I'm doing this week. So I'm just going to show you all the ones that I printed out from the kit. And like I said, if I flip them over the right way, it's going to be upside down because I need the back side to be the opposite of the front, if that makes sense. And I'll explain that. I'll explain that more this week when I do the project goes with it. So what I'm missing from this kit is there's some larger tags and some fussy cuts, and I think you can make a box, and there's envelopes that I did not print out, and so I'll have to print those out later. But I thought this was a beautiful kit. So when I saw, I think it was yesterday, I've lost track of my days this week, when I saw that Antonio put this freebie out, I wanted to share it with you because I think it's gorgeous. So the other thing I want to share with you, I got a lot to share today. Another thing I want to share is I took and went through my scraps and made myself a journal. So I went through my bin that I keep all of my leftover scraps from digitals that I printed and I didn't use them all in a journal, or I was making a project and didn't use them all. And then this actually is just some collage that I had done with my scraps. So I used it and I made a cover with that. And if you're interested in how I make this journal, I can make another one with you because I got plenty of scraps. So let me know below if you'd like to see how I put this together, and I will make another one. So what I'm going to use with this one is I'm going to take, and I've just put book pages and different things in it, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this my pocket sample journal. So what that means is I'm going to make all kinds of pockets that I usually make and put in journals, and I'm going to put them in this journal so that when I'm making a journal, I can flip through it and I can see, what kind of pockets to do. Because like when I go to make a journal, I kind of get overwhelmed sometimes because I have so many ideas and so many things I want to do, and then I don't do them all because either I forget because I'm working on it, and then I come back another day, or sometimes they go on for weeks. And so, and I have terrible memory because I jump from one thing to the other all the time. So I thought it would be nice to have a journal where I could just flip through it and I could have all my different types of pockets that I like to make. Some of these pockets I've learned from different YouTubers. Some of them I learned by just folding paper, and some of them I learned because they were mistakes from folding paper. So I'm going to go ahead and get started, and we'll talk more about this. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to make a pocket for inside of my journal here to hold some things. And I'll explain all that in a bit, what it's going to be for. And that way, if you want to go follow along with me on creating this pocket sample journal, then you can just follow along each time I put out a video, and you can do the same thing. So I thought we would make this first. So what we're going to be making is an expandable pocket. It's kind of like an envelope that is expandable though, so that we can tuck things in it, and I'll explain more about it in a little bit. So what we want to do is just cut our piece of cardstock. I've got 12-inch tall cardstock. I'm just going to cut it at 5.5. And then we're going to worry about, if we need to cut it down later, we'll worry about that. Let's do our scoring first. So I first want to score at a 1/2 inch. Then again at 1 inch. And this one is to fit, I don't know if I mentioned it, this side of my cover is 3.5 inches. I don't remember if I had said. So this pocket will fit a 3.5 inch space. So then we're going to score again at, I'm just going to flip my paper around, makes it easier for me, and score at a 1/2 inch again. And then again at 1 inch. Okay, this doesn't have to be exact anyway. It's just, I just want it to fit that spot. Oops, I forgot I need to do one more scoring on it. So let's score again at 2 inches. And then I'm going to flip it around to the other end, and I'm going to score at, well, I'm actually not going to score that because I think I'll just fold it up where I want it to be. I think that's how I'll do. So just in case I might have confused you, you want to score at a 1/2 inch and 1 inch on each side. So I just do it on this side, I flip it over, and I do it on this side as well, a 1/2 inch and 1 inch. Then you want to take and look at your paper. Mine's not directional, but if yours is directional, you will want to, for this to be the bottom of your page if it's directional, and you're going to score at 2 inches. So now I'm not really sure where to score for the other part, so I'm just going to fold it up. So I'm taking and folding up. So I've got my 2 inch score line here, and I've got it up at the top now, and I'm just going to fold it up, my other piece up, till it's about, probably about a 1/2 inch from the top. And then I'm just going to press. We probably could do the math and figure out what that is, but I don't think it's that important to have the actual numbers. And then we're going to fold this over. As you can see, it's starting to look like a little envelope. So then what we want to do is we're going to have to cut some of these off. So I'm going to take and I'm going to go to the score line here, and I'm just going to cut both of these score lines 1 inch wide all the way down to this crease. And I'm going to do that on both sides, and then I'm just going to leave the score lines here on the bottom. And hopefully as you watch this, this will make more sense if I'm making it very confusing. I'm trying not to make it confusing, but I'm not sure that I'm not. So I'm just going to cut this in at just a little slant. That helps when you're folding things up. And then I'm just going to cut along that score line. And I know with it being this color paper, you probably can't see the score line as well. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Go. Okay, and so then at the top here, I just want to put a little bit of a angle in it. So I'm just going to do that. You don't have to, but it's just what I want to do. So now we're just going to fold over on our score lines. And so we're going to fold over at we're going to fold the 1 inch all the way over towards the center. And then we're going to fold back on the 1/2 inch one. Does that make sense? So then we're going to, once again, the 1 inch score line, we're going to fold in to the inside of our pocket. And then we're going to take the 1/2 inch score line and fold back towards the outside of it. And that's what's going to give us our expandable part. It's not really anything complicated. It's just a quick little expandable pocket without having to do a lot of measuring. And I think I will cut a little thumb hole here. So let me find my punch for that. So I'm using my, I think this is a 2 inch punch. Yes. So I'm just going to go right there and just cut a little bit out. I'm just going to try to eyeball center it. Doesn't have to be perfect. So there we go. And let's just glue this up, and we'll get to using the freebies. Now, if you don't have old cardstock, if you're new to crafting and you don't have cardstock on hand, you could use an old book page for this. You could use just some plain paper that you had on hand. So whatever you have, if you like, I'm trying to think if you had a magazine page. Now, if you're using a book page or magazine page, what you're going to want to do is you are going to want to take and thicken your page up, so double the pages up. So what I'm doing now is I just put the glue, I better tell you real quick, I put the glue on the 1/2 inch part that we folded backwards, and now I'm just folding it up, and I'm just going to attach it to the edge on each side of our back piece. So I'm just folding it up there, and then I'm just folding it up right here. So like I was saying, if you don't have any cardstock, just use whatever you have. If you have old books or whatever, and if you're using thin pages, just double them up so that this pocket will be sturdy for you if you're following along and doing the same thing with it that I am. So I always try to make these Freebie Share Saturdays accessible to everyone, because I know that this is a great way for those who are new to crafting to be able to craft. So that's gorgeous, just like that, but I think it's going to be even prettier when I add this bee. So what I want to do is I want to cut this bee to the same width, and I think I had, what, 3.5? So I'm going to cut this down. I don't want to cut my bee off any, so I got to figure out how to make this work. I have not even tried this yet. I'm just making this along with you all, and oops, I put it in wrong. But I'm just making it as we go along, so that's why I hope I'm not being confused, and I probably should have made one in advance. But I was so excited to get started filming this and get this project going for the pockets, for the pocket sample book. That's going to be hard for me to say. But I wanted to get this project started. I've been thinking about it for a while that I wanted to do it, and I just was too excited to get started, so I didn't even want to make a sample. I just wanted to get going. Plus, this freebie just came out yesterday, and I wanted you to be able to have an idea of something to use it for, or an idea of way to use it. So I'm going to cut right there, and then I'm just going to turn around here, and I need it to be about 3.5. I'm going to have to eyeball. I'm just going to start kind of cutting where I want it to be so that I don't lose my image, and then I'll just keep measuring up to 3.5, taking a little bit off at a time until I get it exactly like I like it. And so there's no really math to that. I guess I could have measured, but as you see, I'm just trying to have equal amount on each side, but still be at 3.5. And let's just see if we can do that. Or a little under 3.5 would be great, because I want to have the actual envelope showing around it like a border. So look at that. I think that's so pretty. When I saw this color paper, I just thought it would be perfect for this cardstock. Or when I saw this cardstock, I thought it would be perfect for the bee paper. Maybe I should say it that way, because I saw the bee paper first. I did cut a little bit into a swing, but I think it's going to be okay. And so then I'm just going to attach that there, and then we'll have our flap coming over. What I may do, though, is my flap, I may trim it off just a little bit so that it's not onto my bee. So I'm going to do that. I'm just going to trim just about, I guess, maybe a 1/4 of an inch off. And that way, when it closes up, it's not really covering up my bee any. So I like that. And look at these little scraps. Aren't they adorable? Ooh, let's see. I bet that would be pretty. Maybe somehow using it on the top here. Just have to trim it down to 3.5. Okay, let's lay that aside. So I have this metallic wax from Little Birdie Crafts. I'm not even sure if Little Birdie Crafts is still open. I know you can get metallic wax anywhere, though. Other companies make it too. And this is an old sponge I had that I was doing a project this weekend. It's kind of dried up, but I'm just going to take my sponge and rub in this. And then I'm just going to gently go around the edges just to get some of that gold out, just framing out the edge of my bee here. So I'm just going to get it to go like that. You could use your finger too, but I find that I get a little messy when I'm trying to use my finger for it, and I actually get it over on the paper too far up. So I don't want to do that. So I'm trying to sponge this. This is my new thing this week, is trying this sponge with this wax. But I do know there's other companies that sell the wax as well. So if you can't find it there, I can't remember if they're still open or not. They used to have some nice little things. Okay, and I don't feel like I have enough, so I'm just going to come back around with just a little bit more. And then, let me see if I can find a piece of scrap paper somewhere. I'll just use this little strip here. And I just want to kind of rub in. If you can see, I'm just rubbing in. Oops, am I even on camera? Oh my goodness. So I'm just rubbing in just a little bit on each corner. I want to do that. See how it kind of frames it out? And so I just want to do that. And like I said, if you're new to crafting and you don't have these supplies, you can still make this. You would just use what you have. You could just leave it plain. You didn't have to add this. You could also you could sponge on a little bit of acrylic paint using just some metallic acrylic paint using your makeup sponges, old makeup sponges, like the triangular kind. I don't have any here right now, but that's what I use those for, is for crafting. So it needs to be a clean one, but so I like that. I think that's going to be pretty there. And then I want to do the same thing to the edges of this one. I just love these bees and these flowers on this paper. The turquoise, I think I've told this before on my channel, but if you've not seen my channel before, I absolutely love teals and turquoises. They're my favorite color. I have all boys, and for a long time, I thought I did not like blues because it felt like everything when they were little had to be blue. Everything was blue, and but I found through the years that I actually love blues, and I love the lighter blues and turquoises, and I even have a wall in my dining room that's painted a blue. It's not turquoise, but it's a lighter blue, but it has the teal turquoise color in it. But it is lighter. But I do find that I like the turquoise colors. I don't really wear a lot of turquoise now that I think about it, but I do. I like to decorate it with it, and I like making projects with it. So I'm just going to attach that there too. Don't have to, but I think it just adds something to it. So when you're watching me do this, I tell you all the time, you don't have to do this or you don't have to do that, because I don't want you to feel like you have to do the same thing I'm doing. You know, just make it your own and use what you have, make it your own. You do you. I just want to give you some ideas on little projects that you can, because a lot of times these freebies come out and you just don't have any ideas of how to use them. You may download them, but you may never actually use them. So, and I'm sure, Antonio, I don't even know if I've watched any YouTube videos in the last day or two, but I'm sure that Antonio will probably have a project that he's doing with them as well. And I will, the coupon code that I gave, I will link below to that. I will put it below so you can copy and paste it onto the Antonio site, and I will link to Antonio's site below. So I'm just going to center that up there. I think that's very pretty. And now for the closure, I'm just going to use some Velcro dots from the Dollar Tree. So they sell these in the craft section of the Dollar Tree, and I would say they're not strong enough for clothing and things because they are cheaper, but they honestly are great for paper projects. So I put two together is what I do. They come with their own sticky on them already, and then I just stick it onto the paper, and I might have done it backwards, but that's okay. And then I'm just going to press it down and press real good so the top one and bottom one match. I'm sure you knew this already. And then you pull it up, and there we have our little pocket. So I love that. I think that's very cute. We'll be adding it to our journal. And so what I'm going to be using this for is to stuff pockets in, and I don't know how that makes sense. So I know that probably doesn't make sense. So in the next video, it will make more sense. So if you're wanting to follow along and do this project sample book with me, then I'll explain it more in the next video how we're going to use this. But I'm going to make two of these. I'm going to make one for the front and one for the back. So this one's going to go in the front, and I think I'll make the back one using this paper. So I probably won't get it done before I get this video out, but if you keep an eye on my Facebook page or my Instagram page, I'll show you a picture of how it turns out as well. I picked out this paper to go with it. I don't know why I'm into gold today. Normally I do not like, I don't know what it is. Normally I don't use the gold on paper like this, but I'm loving it today. So I'm thinking of using this pink one and adding this bead to it. So I will, if I get that done, I'll put that on Instagram or Facebook. But also, don't forget, if you decide you want to, this is for freebie, so you don't have to pay for this sheet with all of these 4 cards. and this heart background. You don't have to spend any money on that. So if you want to download it, and that way you can see the quality of Antonia's prints, you can do that. But if you want the matching kit, the matching bee, Magical Garden, I call it a bee kit, but it is lots of bees, but it's Magical Garden. If you want that kit, you can go to Antonia Makes and be sure to use the coupon code Susan10 to get 10% off. And like I said, that's my affiliate link. And I explain more below about my affiliate links. But also this lets Antonia know that I sent you. And do let me know below if you want to see how I put this journal together just using scrap papers and collage papers and book pages. I can show you how I did that as well. And I hope that you have a wonderful day and a wonderful weekend. And thank you so much for watching. Bye.